the news about Hong Kong in China is not true.
Totally accurate.
It's totally inaccurate. So I think they're kind of brainwashed.
Now, before we get into this interview, I need to give you all a little bit of a background as to what's going on here and why it is that I was at this event in the first place. You see, I actually have quite a long history with Hong Kong, having lived right next to Hong Kong for well over a decade in the city of Shenzhen. I used to pop in and out a lot, and in fact at one point I was even married to a Hong Konger. And this whole umbrella movement and this pro-democracy movement, I've seen it from the get-go. In fact, when it first really erupted was in 2014, where this umbrella revolution started. And I was in Hong Kong at the time, and in fact I filmed a lot of what was going on, and I took a lot of pictures. But because I was living in mainland China and just visiting Hong Kong from time to time, I was never able to release the footage or the photos that I took out of fear of being cancelled, censored, shut down, detained, deported, all of the above.
Happening is the protester and the citizen, they are just against some... Just two groups of people, they are arguing somewhere.
Actually, initially there is a group of students trying to voice out their opinions about the universal suffrage, and we want democracy. And after that, a group of them trying to run into the headquarters of the government. But I think the situation becomes more violent when the police use tear gas and pepper sprays to the protesters there. And we are very angry. So more and more people are standing out for democracy and the universal suffrage.
So fast forward to around 10 months ago, and we had that whole extradition bill, which of course saw the biggest amount of people take to the streets in Hong Kong. It was universally panned by the local people of Hong Kong, and you had such a massive portion of the populace of Hong Kong take to the streets, and it was quite something to see. Now, this was all taking place while C-Milk and I were actually taking a road trip down to Mexico, and on the way a subscriber alerted me to the fact that there was going to be, these free Hong Kong gatherings at various different public places in and around California. And one of the places happened to be pretty much on our route, and we were going to stop somewhere near there anyway, so we stopped on our way down to Mexico just to show some support and to just film what it was all about. And while we were there, we interviewed some of the people.
You guys, we're here. We're about to talk to some people here at the Standard Hong Kong gathering here. Yeah. So, sorry, let me just get ready here. First of all, I just want to let you know that we support you guys 100%.
Thank you.
And we're trying to spread the word as much as we can through our relative YouTube channels.
Thank you.
Anyway,
can you explain what is going on here in this gathering?
Today is the 29th of September. It's the Anti-Totalitarian Day. So right now, in the world, among the whole world, we're having the same kind of events, protesting and then supporting Hong Kong right now. So mainly it's Hong Kong people right here, but also there are some people around the world supporting us right now.
I've noticed there's a lot of these demonstrations happening right now. Do you think it's working to get foreigners, other people from different countries, their support?
I totally think that,
We are trying to do this sports, and then the London board, we're trying to explain to the foreigners what happens in Hong Kong and what do we need. We need international support, and then we need the recognition for the pressure for the government to act on our demands. Yeah, I think this is definitely the right thing to do to get foreigners. At
awareness.
Least in here, it's a tourist spot, so we can try to explain to anyone that is interested in what happens in Hong Kong.
Have you guys faced any conflict from mainlanders that are coming to argue with you guys?
Yeah.
Inside the school. Yeah.
Inside school? Cool.
We're exchange students.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So sometimes we faced mainlander students asking, why are you not like accepting China, or why don't you just merge with China? And we try to have a like fair and then also peace discussion with them. Yeah.
What do you think the biggest problem with these mainland attitudes towards Hong Kong? Because it seems like you guys are just trying to open a dialogue, spread awareness, right? Why are these people opposing it? Why do they have this opinion? Why can't they listen?
Yeah, because I would think that inside of China, they don't have Twitter, they don't have Facebook, they don't have Google or YouTube. So the only message they can accept is by the Chinese government.
Actually,
so that
like controlling over the discourse is the
a
Chinese
lot of things
government.
is censored. Like the social media, they can use Google, like YouTube. Like the news is like filtered. They only have news in support of the government, and then they even like twist the truth. Like the news about Hong Kong in China is not true.
Totally accurate.
It's totally inaccurate. So I think they're kind of brainwashed by the government, by the presidency and the whole government group. So I mean, they have no choice because what they accept is just the information from the government. So even from their born, they accept this kind of brainwashed, censored information. So this is why they can have a rational political discussion with us.
It was incredibly heartwarming to see people come together. They were singing songs, people were standing up and making speeches about how much they love their homeland and how much Hong Kong freedom meant to them. And some of the people who had naturalized and become US citizens were up there just saying just how important democracy is. And you know, it was very heartwarming. And in fact, I was inspired to make an impromptu speech myself.
I would like to give you my support. I'd like to say that Hong Kong is one of the places that impressed me the most. Of all of the places that I visited around Asia, I lived in mainland China for 14 and a half years. I was married to a Hong Konger. I know Hong Kong very well. And there's one thing that's impressed me the most about the people of Hong Kong is how civilized and how civil you all are. To be able to hold something like this peacefully and to be able to conduct yourselves in the way that you've been conducting yourselves is amazing. And you have my support, and I wish nothing but the best for Hong Kong and for all of you. Please continue.
加油!
Liberate Hong Kong!
Liberate Hong Kong!
5 demands!
No less!
No rioters! Stand with Hong Kong!
Fight for freedom!
Hong Kongers! Stay strong! Hong Kongers! Stay strong! Hong Kongers! Stay strong!
And you know what? Hong Kong did stay strong. And actually won. The extradition bill was not put into place, and it was a massive victory, at least it seemed so, for democracy and a big step forward for the people of Hong Kong. But what we cannot forget is that this is a totalitarian government that we're dealing with. The current government in charge of China, the Communist Party of China, the CCP, is the exact same government and the same people that ordered the tanks to roll in on Tiananmen Square. These are also the same people that enforced a brutal one-child policy that forced abortions on mothers, even late-term pregnancies, never mind the starvation and the bad policies of the Great Leap Backwards and the cultural devolution. These are the same people and the same government, and they will not see power slip away from them. What we then saw was a very forced national security law put into place, which now has all but destroyed the freedoms of Hong Kong. People are being arbitrarily arrested for holding up blank pieces of paper. People can no longer freely voice criticism against the oppressive Chinese Communist Party. We've seen arrests of activists, media tycoons, and warrants put out for the arrests of US citizens, to name a few. This is a warning to the rest of the world. The Chinese Communist Party has once again very openly broken its promise, as it does with all of its promises. The one country, two systems, the 50 years in which Hong Kong was supposed to enjoy autonomy and not have the laws and way of life meddled with, has very blatantly been broken in front of the international stage. Ask yourself this: what promises has the Communist Party of China made to your country? My deepest feelings of love and support to the people of Hong Kong and to the good people of China who silently struggle on.